World of Tanks, how does camo work? So this video is going to explain how camo works in the video game World of Tanks. It's going to work the same with console, blitz, etc. Okay, so here's where we start. You can add camo using the tank hull exterior, such as a camo pattern or style. A style, they have 2D styles and 3D styles. You need to apply separate camo for each season, summer, winter, and desert, or use a 2D or 3D style. So camouflage in the game is for a map type, and there's 3 types of maps: summer, winter, desert. So you're going to have 3 camos per vehicle. If you use a 2D style, it's probably going to be the same for all 3 map types. You only have to add it once, and the same with a 3D style. I believe that there are 2D styles that look different with each map type. However, you only have to apply it once. You can buy camo, use camo from the depot, and possibly rent camo. They used to have an option to rent camo for a certain number of battles or for a certain amount of time, but I don't see it in the system anymore. Using the concealment crew skills, or BIA. It's not camo, it's concealment, which is how the game rates your camo. You can use directives, food consumables, equipment, such as vents or low exhaust, to improve your concealment rating. You can use a camo net, which must be activated by remaining stationary for 3 seconds. So a camo net is a piece of equipment. You put it on your vehicle, and when you park, after 3 seconds, the camo net turns on, and it improves your camo rating, and it is very good. The concealment skill is very good. It's better than a camo. It's better than the camo that's painted on the vehicle. Paint does not improve camo or concealment, so paint has no effect, cosmetic value only. Camo only works when placed on the hull of the vehicle, not the turret or the gun. So if you put it on the turret or the gun, if you're paying to do that, you're not getting any benefit from it. You can hide in or behind a bush, tree, or foliage to improve your concealment. Camo reduces if you fire the gun or move, except for some vehicles. So when you fire your gun, your concealment rating goes down, which means you're going to get spotted more easily. Or if you move, except for maybe light tanks and tank destroyers, and some vehicles can rotate without disturbing the camo net or concealment, such as the STRV, probably the siege mode vehicles. Concealment is reduced for tall vehicles. So if you have a tall vehicle like a Type 5 Heavy, it has lower concealment. A big part of the concealment rating is how high, how tall the vehicle is. So if you look at a vehicle and you see it's really tall, it's going to have problems with the concealment rating. Some camo is specific to a nation, some are universal. So there is camo. Every nation has its own unique camouflage, but there's some camo that works on any tank, which is universal. Some camo works in any season, which is a map type. Some are universal. So a tank, you apply the summer camo, the winter camo, the desert camo. But there's some camo that can work in any season, but you still have to apply it separately for each map type. You can win free camo during events and missions throughout the year. Paint does not impact concealment ratings. I haven't bought camo in years, so I've been winning it for free. I can't remember the last time I bought camo. It might have been 5 or 6 years ago or more. Paint doesn't impact concealment ratings, just cosmetic. Your camo always works during battle and cannot be impaired. So once you have the camo on your vehicle, you get that rating bonus no matter what throughout the battle. It's different with things like your concealment skill or BIA and things like that, because if your crew member gets injured, you might lose your concealment from the skill or from the BIA. And with your camo net, it only works when you're stationary. If you move, it doesn't work. It affects your concealment rating. Crew skills can become impaired in battle, such as if a crew member becomes injured. If one crew member becomes injured, BIA doesn't work anymore and you lose the benefits. So you have a concealment rating for a stationary vehicle and moving vehicle, and then one value is when you're not firing, and the other one is after firing, not during firing, after firing. When you move, your rating goes down. A higher rating is good. You really want the 2.68 to be as high as possible because you want to be able to fire without being spotted. You have separate concealment values when stationary, moving, or when firing. Your concealment rating goes down when firing. A higher rating means better concealment. Concealment can be affected by foliage, such as bushes. If you are unspotted when firing, you can complete missions which require you to be unspotted when completing the mission. You become spotted after firing, not simultaneously. So if you are unspotted, if it says you must remain unspotted at the moment that you destroy an enemy tank, you can fire as long as you're unspotted. If you fire and become spotted, you still complete the mission. It's what happens at the point that you fire. You don't get spotted until afterwards. So this is the exterior where you can add camouflage. You click on camouflage, or you could also use the preset style. And you could purchase something using gold, or you can see I have 5 in the depot, 3 in the depot, 7 in the depot. The one with the diamond means that it's currently on the vehicle. All of these others, effects, inscriptions, etc., do not affect concealment. However, they did do a test with inscriptions that impacted your tank characteristics, such as concealment. So there was a time when you could put an inscription on that said something like "Let's go," and it would give you a concealment bonus, but they never released it. People didn't like it. You can use camo from your depot. Buy camo using gold. Sometimes it's for sale at a 50% discount. If you sell it, you receive credits, which is 10,000. In the past, it was available for rent, either for a number of days or a number of battles. The hull, turret, and barrel can each receive 3 different types of camo. The concealment value only works when applied to the hull. So if you apply it to the barrel and the turret, you don't get any benefit, only cosmetic. You can view your concealment rating and how it's affected by crew skills, equipment, consumables, or directives. So if you go over the statistics on the right in the garage, it'll show you which one has the biggest impact, and you can see that the concealment skill is about double what the camo painted on the vehicle does. So you really want to have that concealment skill, which is my second skill for every vehicle because I play close to the enemy. Even on my heavy tanks, I did it. You can see that Brothers in Arms doesn't have a huge impact, but when you add it with the improved vents and the extra combat rations, it brings it up to like 23. So it has a cumulative value, even if individually it doesn't. Now keep in mind, I don't know the order, but there is an order. For example, vents might improve Brothers in Arms, but I don't think Brothers in Arms improves vents. So there's an order where one does impact the other. You can see here the concealment bonus for a 2D or 3D style for different map types. Over here it says plus 2% bonus on all map types. Some camo can be sold for silver credits. If it goes on sale, let's say it's on sale for 25 gold, the sell price will be 5,000 silver. Usually when it goes on sale, it's on sale for half price, but sometimes they do only 25% off. In the depot, there's a section that says exterior. It's at the bottom. It looks like a paintbrush. You see how there's like a little paintbrush over here? And you can view all your 3D styles. And I hit camo, and for some reason it only says 1, which I don't understand because I have tons of camo. I mean, over here you can see I've got all this camo in the depot, and I've got lots of universal camo. So I don't understand why it only showed 1 in the depot. You can buy or mount low noise exhaust or camo nets for most vehicles to improve your concealment rating. I don't think the exhaust works with wheeled vehicles, and the camo net might not work with wheeled vehicles because they don't want you to do passive spotting, so they disallowed it in the game. But you can buy the camo net and the low noise exhaust. I use the low noise exhaust. It's only 3%, but it works all the time. And the 5% for the net only when stationary, which means light tank destroyers, medium tank destroyers. If you're going to brawl, maybe not. SPGs, passive spotting. You're going to want to use these camo nets. For passive spotting, as a beginner, you use it. As an expert, you don't use the camo net because you want to do whatever you can to improve your spotting, like binocs. Okay, so you can use directives to improve your concealment value for equipment you've mounted or for crew skills. So these are directives, they work for one battle. You have to have the muffler or the exhaust in order to use this directive. This one, you have to have vents in order to use this directive. And for natural cover, you have to have the concealment crew skill. Actually, you don't have to. It will work even if you don't have it. If you do have it, you just get a better bonus. You don't want to use natural cover if most of your crew skills for concealment are over 90%, because then it only brings it up to 100%. You get a small benefit. You pay for one using bonds. These you pay for using bonds. This you pay for using credits. You can use the concealment skill and BIA on any or all crew members to improve your concealment rating. So the concealment skill you can put on any crew member. BIA you have to put on all of them, and it will improve your concealment rating, which will show up over here. You see how it says Brothers in Arms skill and camouflage? No, it says concealment skill. That improves your concealment rating. They used to have Sisterhood of Steel, but it was merged with Brothers in Arms. I'm going to go on to the next page. This is going to be an example of a vehicle that was painted. There's camo applied to the hull, which gives the bonus. There's paint on the turret and on the barrel. You don't get any bonus for paint no matter where it is. And if the camo goes on the turret or the barrel, you get no bonus. It has to be on the hull, only works on the hull. And it's different depending on what type of vehicle you have. A large heavy tank, I might only get 2%, but a light tank, I might get 4%. So depending on the vehicle or how big it is, might change the concealment rating benefit in percentage. When it says 2%, it might, what they mean is 2 points. See over here it says plus 3%. Over here it says plus 5. Over here it says plus 5%. We don't know if it's actually adding the percentage or if it's adding points plus 5 to the rating. I'm not sure. I believe it adds a percent. So if your rating is 14.8 and you're getting 10%, it'll be 1.48 or 0.7 if it's 5%. But I'm not sure. Probably that's the way it is. Okay, so that is how camo works. As I said, the biggest tip I'm going to give, if you play light tanks, configure to spot, not to hide, and you'll get more spotting damage. Eventually, you should do it. If you have any questions or comments, please post below. Go to cheapbooks.cc. You look at the World of Tanks section, you can see that I have a lot of guides and tutorials that I've written on playing the game. And I do own cheapbooks.com, which is a website that lists books and textbooks. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.